they'd rent the cabin for her, and they camped out.
Oh, that's cool.
But she said one night a ghost came through the door and got in bed with her.
But there's carpet. It sounded like something was like tapping on hardwood, but like under the bed.
Whoa, whoa, yeah.
Oh, it's brighter.
It's moving. Yeah. Yeah, it's moving. That's the lantern.
It's moving. Oh my god.
That's what I saw.
Alabama is full of ghost stories.
There's just not too many places you can go in our state without hearing tales of the strange, the paranormal, and the macabre.
But are these stories true?
Our crew will travel to these reportedly haunted locations to learn their history and investigate their claims.
Our goal is to determine if there is any truth to the ghost stories that haunt our state.
But will we be prepared for what we may find along the way?
We're currently staying the night inside of a haunted cabin, located on a Civil War battlefield.
Just outside this very cabin lies 3 unmarked graves. There are rumored to be hundreds more of possible graves in the battlefield.
Several paranormal investigators have captured evidence of ghosts roaming the property. Hopefully we'll be able to get the same.
A place where artifacts of the past are still being found to this very day.
The American Civil War raged on from 1861 to 1865. Union and Confederate soldiers ravaged the South in what has come to be known as one of the bloodiest battles to take place on American soil. Over 600,000 men lost their lives in this war, but are all of them truly gone? Fred Wise has been collecting artifacts from the Civil War since the mid-70s, building his collection and museum with treasures that were either bought...
That gun's still loaded, both barrels. And UPS shipped it 3 years ago loaded. Used more.
donated.
And this guy here, he's dead in this picture. See the bullet hole in his left temple?
Yeah.
I tried to buy this tintype from a family out of Opp, and they wouldn't sell it to me, but they gave me a copy of the picture.
Yeah.
Were even found on the battlefield where his museum is located. including this amputation saw and bullets used to bite down on while a body part was being amputated. Fred takes pride in his museum and even has a wall dedicated to the spirits who roam the property.
He's actually got a wall here with some photos of supposed paranormal activity here. Looks like a group of men standing here out in the forest. I believe he said it's right down the hillside back here where they took this one. And then here there's a woman in a dress walking down the hill. Got the orb. And then this shot of the soldier standing in the background here. So hopefully we'll get lucky and capture some of this tonight. We're going to be taking lots of pictures, audio, visual, isolation sessions, a little bit of everything.
Located directly across from the museum is an authentic 1800s cabin. The cabin itself was not originally built on the property. Fred had stated that it was taken down and numbered piece by piece and put back together, where it stands now. He even allows guests to rent out the cabin and hold their own investigations of the property for those who are interested. Though the cabin wasn't originally built on the property, that doesn't mean that we didn't experience some very strange things there during our stay. And according to Fred, we're not the only ones who have experienced paranormal activity there.
And they didn't rent the cabin for her, and they camped out.
Oh, that's cool.
But she said one night a ghost came through the door and got in bed with her. She came back and stayed 5 times after that.
Oh, really?
Sure did.
Must have been a good host then. Instead of
After learning the history of the location, we decided to check out our home for the night. It didn't take long for something very weird to happen.
the door just
the door
opened.
just opened.
Door just opened?
It just
Yeah.
flew wide open. Like,
I thought Sean was coming in, but he's not even here.
I thought that too.
And the door was shut, so...
Does it pull open?
It does, but
You gotta have some force behind it.
yeah.
Here in the cabin, and I was just using my phone coming this way. Kevin was going to show me something, and out of nowhere my phone just turned off by itself, and now it won't turn back on. And it had like, I don't know, maybe 50, 53%, something like that. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Apparently
It's creepy.
something took the energy, maybe.
Hey, wait, let's get the voice box.
Yeah, go get it. It's
Yeah.
I think that was radio.
We're just taking a little break, getting out of the cold right now. We're in the cabin, and I figured I'd bust out the spirit box, just do a little swoop with it. We were just sitting here talking, and all of a sudden a voice came through, and it just said, "Hey." So now we're trying to see if we can capture that voice again.
Could have been the bear.
Yeah, it's the bear. Are you here with us right now? Can you tell us your name?
We should leave a voice recorder if we have it.
Yeah, we're
somewhere
going to
here
leave one in here.
while we investigate.
Yes.
Yeah,
How's
the
temperature rising? It's not-
temperature keeps on rising too. I think it's going in the no, it's going in positive. Temperature keeps on rising too, back and forth like that.
Can you tell us hey again? That's something.
Did you fight in the war?
We decided to take a few minutes to get warm by the fire before we made our way down to the battlefield.
Coming up.
Okay.
Take any energy from this box and move something for us.
And me and Rachel just heard somebody up in the loft.
John, tell us about our latest find here.
Okay, well, as you can see, there's a toilet seat, and it's hanging off that branch down there. And see, not many people know this, but back in the war, like the Civil War, they'd come and they'd bring their own toilet seat, because, you know, it'd make them feel like they were back at home. And they would just kind of shimmy out onto the branch, and they would dangle it there, and then they would, you know, drop their pants and stuff, and they would poop through the hole, because it'd make them feel like they were at home. And then just go right into the creek right there.
And then just get washed away.
Yeah.
And that's some good old-fashioned American history there.
Yeah. You can't find that in the history books, kids, but you can find it on Alabama's Most Haunted.
After a brief history lesson courtesy of Sean, we hurried to film interviews with eyewitnesses of the paranormal activity. Jonathan wasted no time.
Hey, puppy, you on camera? Hey, puppy! Hey, puppy!
So tell me about the ghost you've seen here. Dog, I'm talking to you. Tell me about your ghost experience.
Tell me about your spookies. You see spookies?
Leah Henderson met us at the cabin to share some of the things she had experienced while ghost hunting one night at the museum, including strange sounds coming from under the bed.
We're at Crooked Creek in the cabin in the loft. Now, Leah, can you please tell us what happened when you came to ghost hunt a couple of years ago?
It sounded like something was like tapping on hardwood, but like under the bed.
So it couldn't have been a mouse in the walls?
It could have, but we heard the whispering like right after. And it was up like towards the head of the bed.
So you heard a whisper over here?
Like underneath the bed.
Underneath the bed.
Yeah.
And it was you and Maria?
Yeah, and we were sitting down there when this happened.
Okay. And that was it? That's all that happened up here?
Besides the hair pull and the ear.
So Leah said she had her hair pulled while she was up here, and she said something, it felt like something bit her ear.
Yeah.
And it was red afterwards.
There was a red mark.
And it was just her and Maria. Did anything happen to Maria?
No. She did hear the whispering. Like, she heard everything that I'd heard, but she didn't feel anything.
She also told us about strange things that happened down at the battlefield.
Well, what else happened to you here? Not in the cabin.
We got down to the battlefield, and we kept seeing these, like, not even a flash of light. It was more like a lantern light, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But there were, like, several of them out near the wooded area.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a little weird. Like, we walked over there, and they were just completely gone by the time we'd gotten over next to the woods. But when we were walking back up, we were all just walking along and chit-chatting. And all of a sudden, right next to my ear, I heard this, like... To me, it sounded like that noise that pigs make. Like, the really loud, like...
Squeal?
No, it wasn't a squeal. It was, like a deep noise.
Snort?
Yeah. But, like, it went on for, like, at least 5 seconds. And I freaked out. I started screaming and running up the hill. We got up to the top of the hill, and nobody else had heard it. I was the only person that heard it, but it sounded like it was right in my ear. I was like, there's no way you guys didn't hear that. And then one of the people that was with us was like, it sounds sort of like what you're describing is a death rattle. Like
What's a death rattle?
When somebody dies and the air releases from them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I've never heard of that.
I have no idea what it was, but nobody else heard it.
Little did we know what similarities we would experience later that night. After wrapping up interviews, we spent some time hanging out in the cabin, as well as checking out the battlefield.
True. So, Sean and I, and instead of riding down here in the car, we decided to walk.
Hey, Jonathan.
And Jonathan too.
Because we're smart.
Because we're smart. We're men.
And it's not like 10 degrees.
True. And we're definitely getting some Blair Witch vibes.
Yeah,
going
or
on.
Blair Thumb, either one.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we end up lost out here.
We're here with the wild Rachel at Crooked Creek Battlefield. There's the married tree over there with the flag.
As we were recording our opening sequence, we heard something from upstairs.
We're recording.
Night shot. Hit that night shot.
Night shot. There's a night shot feature.
Right here.
Oh.
Yeah, because I got no.
Oh, I need to get one of these. Alright, so we're doing our intro, right? And me and Rachel just heard somebody up in the loft.
Whoa. Did y'all hear that?
Uh-uh.
It sounded like something like ran over there towards the bed.
Now, this is the room that Leah, who we investigated earlier...
What's that?
Dude.
Shut?
No, you left that open to here, remember?
Yeah, I closed it a little.
Oh, you closed it?
Yeah, I closed it down a little. Yeah. But we started hearing stuff up here.
Is there anybody here with us tonight?
Can you make a sound for us?
Yeah, that's them down there.
Oh. Is anybody in the living room?
Uh-uh.
I was going to ask them if they turned that light out.
Did you hear it?
I heard something, but I don't know if it's them or over here. If that's you, can you make a noise for us, please?
Can you finish this knot for us?
Whoa.
Dude, something's like, dude. I don't know what you're seeing over there, but something feels like it's touching my legs.
Something moved right towards your legs right before you said that, man.
Are you serious?
Yes.
This orb of light flies from the right side of the screen, then loops back around towards Sean's legs. Immediately, he begins to say he feels as though something is touching him.
Can you finish this knot for us?
Whoa.
Dude, something's like, dude.
Was it like that mist thing?
No, it was like a straight up giant orb, and it flew from over here to your legs.
Dude, right now it feels like something squeezes my right leg, and then it squeezes my left leg. If that's you, can you touch my hand? Can you try to pull me? I don't feel anything on my hand, but I still feel that on my legs. Can you pull one of my legs? Dude, right when I asked that, it felt like my thigh, it felt like something went pop.
Like something just hit it?
Yeah, like either something hit it or something like did something to it. Now I feel it back down in my calf again.
Can you tell us your name? Can you make a sound somewhere up here for us? Let us know that you're here with us.
Dude, for some reason when you asked that, in my head I just heard Jacob.
Jacob?
Yeah.
Is your name Jacob?
Remember that, we'll chat with the spirit box later.
Yeah.
We're just here to communicate with you. We don't mean you any harm.
Yeah, if you are here, here is the curtains on this window. Just pull them for us. Or knock on the wall or something.
The feeling in my legs just completely, it felt like somebody just let me go.
As soon as Sean claims the feelings let him go, another orb shoots away from him, back towards the right side of the room.
Coming up.
There was 2 figures down here a minute ago. I don't see them now.
We tried to come in here earlier and the camera just went dead out of nowhere, and then now it has a full charge again.
Oh. Sleep with it on. Okay.
An orb flew right in front of my camera.
Things were already getting off to an interesting start at Crooked Creek. We decided the best way to tackle each location would be to split up. Jonathan and Sean hung back in the cabin. Rachel and Kayla decided to investigate the museum, and I started making my way down to the battlefield after hearing something very strange from the front porch of the cabin.
Okay. Right now, Rachel and Kayla are in the museum itself. Jonathan and Sean are in the cabin we'll be staying in tonight. I'm about to walk down to the battlefield alone and do an isolation session down there for about 30 minutes or so. Earlier I was outside on the porch of the cabin and I actually heard what sounded like a horse neigh and then gallop down the path. I don't know if it was somebody riding a horse down here or maybe something from the Civil War era replaying itself. There was 2 figures down here a minute ago. I don't see them now, but I'm going to walk down here. I got some trigger objects, some fireworks to represent gunfire. I'm going to set a trap camera up and do some EVP work. So we'll see what happens. It is also pitch black out here and very cold. So if I don't freeze to death, we'll see what happens.
I made my way down to the small fire pit area near the married trees to set up the trap camera.
Okay guys, we're having some very, very weird things going on. We've seen figures, we've heard sounds. They're currently in the cabin now trying to get some faulty camera situations fixed up. I'm down here at the battlefield right now, about to set up a trap camera right over here. Apparently there's like mountain lions and stuff out here, so yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna set the trap camera up here and probably head towards either the foxholes or one of the rifle points and just do some EVP work, and we'll see what happens.
As I am talking, something seems to move from behind me past the camera. This mist is also accompanied by an orb that moves to the right. The mist could easily be my breath, seeing as how it was very cold that night. It's just strange that this was the only time that the mist was seen. Rachel and Kayla investigated the museum, unaware of the sound they were about to capture.
Take 2 of me and Rachel at the museum. We tried to come in here earlier and the camera just went dead out of nowhere, and then now it has a full charge again. So we are going to turn the lights off in the museum Okay, now it's going.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Hey, Rachel.
Hey.
We're in this museum. I can barely see your face. There we go. I see.
You know what time it is?
The time is... Let me check my butt. My phone's there.
Look, this is that 1% battery.
8:31.
1% battery.
Oh, it's got 2.
2?
Yeah.
We have 30 minutes ago, and now it's back to 1, 2.
What in the... Okay. Alright, our cameras and phones and everything are freaking out. The battery's being drained and then going dead and then coming back on. You can help us out. Can you make some kind of noise? I think I see the Indians back there. If you could move anything in this museum, what would you move? Do you like having all your artifacts in here? What is that? Is that you?
No. I thought it was you.
It sounded like a demonic howl or something. Was that you in here?
You know, I thought it was something around by a window, but there's no window right there.
It sounded like a woo. Are you in here?
Could this have been the same spirit that Leah had heard? Did we capture the death rattle?
Do you like having all your artifacts in here? What is that? Is that you? Do you like having all your artifacts in here? What is that? Is that you?
I never heard any kind of howl, but I did hear something else. While I was preparing to light some fireworks in the foxhole to mimic gunfire, my camera's battery suddenly went dead. As I walked back up the hill, I could see what looked like a lantern swinging back and forth. Then suddenly in my ear I heard a man whisper, "There he is." I didn't realize it at the time, but it backed up what Leah had experienced before.
We got down to the battlefield and we kept seeing these, like, not even a flash of light, it was more like a lantern light, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But there were, like, several of them out near the wooded area.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a little weird. Like, we walked over there and they were just completely gone by the time we'd gotten over next to the woods. But when we were walking back up, we were all just walking along and chit-chatting. And all of a sudden, right next to my ear, I heard this, like... To me, it sounded like that noise that pigs make.
After an already eventful night, we met back up in the cabin. All of us seemed to be experiencing our cell phones and cameras losing and regaining power. We decided to begin one of our first live feeds ever for our Facebook page. We weren't expecting to capture some of the things we did during this live feed.
Coming up.
Hey, let's take it to the museum itself.
Yes. Whoa.
Sound like it said, hold on.
Yeah, that's what I heard, is hold on.
The female is still here with us. Can you make a noise for us? It's gotta be something loud.
There is something in this back room. We started our live feed for the night. For the first few minutes, we investigated the cabin together, hoping to capture voices on the spirit box.
Apparently we're live now. We're currently in the cabin at Crooked Creek at the Civil War Museum. We'll be staying here all night. It has been a crazy experience so far. I apologize if we lose connection. There's not very good service. But this cabin here was built in the 1800s. And man, I cannot wait to put this episode together. It has been insane the whole night. Even like during the daytime, there was crazy things going on here. Got our nice fire going to keep us warm.
Okay, yeah. Can you stop and slow stuff on it?
Jonathan and Sean were staying in the cabin while Rachel and Kayla were in the museum itself. I was down at the battlefield in one of the foxholes.
Not the let's look out the bed for it. Either direction.
And we've had just equipment failure all night. We've been having to plug in our cameras all night because they've just been dying almost instantly as soon as we start recording with them again. And another crazy thing, you can actually rent this cabin out and stay in it yourself. It's at Crooked Creek Civil War Museum. Whoa. Whoa. It just said something. Can you tell me your name? It's going crazy. Is your name Jacob? Whoa, I don't know. It sounds like it said Sean.
Are you trying to talk to me?
Can you say that one more time, please? I think he's freaking out, man. Whoa. As we started the spirit box, a voice came through that sounded as though it said, "Dead." As I caught it with Sean, it seemed to say his name, and then said something about a chair. While this was going on, Sean was actually setting up a glow stick on a chair to see if anything would move it. The temperature reader on the spirit box started acting up, even before it spoke. Whoa, I don't know. I think he's freaking out, man. Whoa. During this time, we left one of our static cameras recording in the museum by itself. This ball of light floats from side to side, almost as if it's looking at all the artifacts in the museum. Finally, it was time for me to do an isolation session in the cabin. Rachel, Sean, and Jonathan went down to the battlefield. Kayla made her way over to the married trees, while Sean and Jonathan and Rachel started recording audio. And this cabin that we're showing you right now, you can actually rent this thing out. I think it's $150 per night. And you can actually perform paranormal investigations, not staying all night here, for $10. But this place is amazing. And like I said earlier, we've had our equipment just dying like crazy. We'll charge it up, get it outside to start shooting some of the episode, and it'll just crap out almost instantly. So we're in the cabin here. If there's anybody in here with me, can you give me a sign? Can you make a sound for me? And about that time, door flings open. Jason's standing there, hacks me in half. The rest of the group comes back, finds me severely dismembered. Can you move something in this room for me? Can you make a sound somewhere in the cabin, please? Yeah, the kitchen has been crazy, Crystal. We've had a lot of stuff in there, a lot of footsteps, just random sounds coming from the kitchen. Sean hit this blanket earlier, and he said he heard something on the spirit box say something to him. Can you give me a sign of your presence? Just let me know that you are here. Okay. Something over here. Just let me know that you are here. Was that you? Can you do that again? Let's go up to the loft area. We had some very strange and crazy things going on up here. We also had somebody say that they were staying here one night and they were hearing whispers coming from under this very bed. Billy, yeah, I heard that too. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but it sounded like it came from the bedroom downstairs. Can you make another sound for me? Can you move something? Yeah, that's nice and fun there. I've almost died on that about 7 times just tonight. Also keep waiting on old Brother Bear there to just turn his head and be all like, "You look delicious, Kevin." Also, right outside the window here, I don't know if you can see them, there's some really awesome thorns out there. And earlier one of the breakers tripped. So I went out there doing some manly stuff and I wanted to turn it back on. And I ran face first into those thorns and it was awesome. Can you please give me a sign of your presence? Just let me know that you're here tonight. Something back here.
Coming up. There's a cannonball in the back. You think you can move it for us?
Are you back here? Is this where you want me to stay?
Oh man, that's freaking out.
It had been an interesting night so far at Crooked Creek. While I was experiencing some very strange things in the cabin, Rachel, Sean, and Jonathan were busy capturing a very interesting EVP in the battlefield.
Can you please give me a sign of your presence? Just let me know that you're here tonight. Something back here. Are you in this room?
While Kayla was investigating near the married trees, Rachel started to record near the fork in the trail. This is what her audio recorder caught.
Sean and Jonathan filled, and we've heard some crazy stuff, so we're going to leave this audio recorder on top of this rock near the beginning of the battlefield. I'm putting it.
If you listen closely, you can hear what sounds like a cannon being fired, accompanied by random rifle shots.
Sean and Jonathan filled, and we've heard some crazy stuff, so we're going to leave this audio recorder on top of this rock near the beginning of the battlefield. I'm putting it.
What's so strange about this is the fact that no one reacts to the sounds that were captured. Could Rachel have caught sounds from the battle that took place there so many years ago? As they made their way to the museum, I continued to film the live stream in the cabin. Strange things continued to happen.
Well, I believe I might be cutting the live feed short soon. I'm going to regroup with the others and probably make sure that the cameras are all charged, and probably head back down to the battlefield. And that's a good old sewing machine. But yeah, I'm probably about to regroup, head back down to the battlefield, and see what is going on down there. Like I said, I was in the foxhole down there, and as soon as I got down in there, my camera died. And she's charging now. There is something in this back room. Are you back here? Is this where you want me to stay? Are you in here? Are you taking a bath in the world's oldest bathtub? Boo. Alright guys, it's, like I said, it's getting crazy in here. I'm probably about to end the live feed and regroup.
While I was experiencing the sounds of movement and doors opening, the rest of the crew was experiencing some bizarre things in the museum.
Sean, can you move that cannonball?
Huh?
Can you move that cannonball?
Can I move it?
How easy does it move?
I mean, it's got a lot of weight to it, but it'll roll.
Oh man, that's freaking out. Did you say move it?
Do you want us to move it back?
Rachel's recorder battery keeps going down and dying, even though we're charging it.
Man. Come get your guns.
The Union is just over the hill.
Doing a reenactment over here. Sean's wearing a Confederate hat.
That's like it's a dog. Did you agree with the war?
Or did you just fight because you had to?
War?
I think it said no.
Sounds like an old man saying no.
Did you lose a loved one in the war?
It sounded like a woman.
I just saw shadows standing in front of that doorway.
I saw it too. That's what I was staring at. I thought I saw something.
And it was a full silhouette on the man too. Were you standing in the doorway just then?
If that's you, come closer. We're not here to hurt you. We're on your side.
Do you like the owner of this place? What's his name?
Chris. Whoa! That just fell.
What just
That
fell?
flag just
That
fell.
flag just fell
Holy
off the
crap.
top of the tent.
I didn't
Right
see that, and
beside
I was
you.
looking straight there.
Did you catch it? Did you catch it?
No,
on
I
film?
did not.
I might have caught it on
Right
film.
off.
I saw that.
That flag fell down.
That's good.
Whoa, it just
It was
got
on the
something
tent.
Did you do that?
And it was saying something right when it happened.
Did you just knock the flag off?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, dude, holy crap. Dude,
What?
You might see that.
What?
What?
It looked like, seriously, like standing right where you're standing.
It said something.
Dude,
I think it said
swear,
hey.
It looked like somebody was like right here and it looked like they just went.
No, I didn't see it.
Did you pull the flag down?
I wish I would have caught that on camera.
Yeah, it slid right off.
If I put this flag back, are you...
While they were asking questions about the war, the flag that was draped over the tent next to them slid off and fell to the ground. Unfortunately, this wasn't caught on camera. As Sean is describing the shadow he had seen standing in the doorway, Kayla films the flag laying on the ground. An orb flies out of it and quickly disappears.
Did you believe in what you were fighting for?
Don't forget you're wearing a hat. You
Yeah.
can walk right out and go and go home without sleep with it on. Okay.
An orb flew right in front of my camera from here to there. I got night vision on now.
If we're in here, turn it on.
Kevin, you missed it.
I met back up with the crew after ending the live feed. With freshly charged cameras, we made our way back down to the battlefield, hopeful to catch the lantern light I had seen earlier in the night.
Coming up.
Hey, we need a light out here. Anybody with a light?
Whoa, yeah.
It's brighter.
It's moving.
Take any energy from this box and move something for us.
We made the trek back down to the battlefield. The cold wind blew as we approached the fork in the path. Sure enough, as we went left at the fork and started to follow the pathway, everyone started to see the faint flicker of a lantern, moving away from us down deeper into the path.
wonder if you're seeing that lantern I saw.
Hey, we need a light out here. Anybody with a light?
You lead the way down the trail?
We need a lantern.
We've got an injured man here. We need some help.
Whoa, yeah.
Oh, it's brighter.
It's moving. I don't know if I can see that on camera or not. Yeah. Yeah, it's moving. That's the lantern. That's what I saw.
Lead us where you want us to go.
Can't see it.
Light our path.
Do you have a lantern?
Camera's almost dead. Hold on. This is crazy. You can't even see it on the camera.
I think it's dying.
Everything's dying.
That has moved.
My camera falls by itself. I didn't touch it.
We've had
Can you
equipment
come this
failure
way?
every night, like going crazy. Jonathan, move to the. Yeah, move.
Can you come this way with the light?
We have an injured soldier. Please help.
This is crazy. You can't see that on the camera at all. That's it.
Can you bring your light close to us, please?
Mine's only 2 battery and it was charging in the house.
Mine's almost completely dead. Whatever is out here, it's draining energy from everything.
That just stopped. Dude, bye-bye.
Dude, look, it's draining energy from everything.
I've got 2 battery
Dude,
left
yeah.
right now.
Mine just died. It said bye-bye.
John, here, take over mine.
There it is, there it is. I got it on film.
All these orbs. Get it. My fingers are so frozen I can't.
Whoa. I don't know if you can see it on there or not.
Whoa, I just heard something move.
Only the lantern light, but that was up on the other trail.
Not really taping much of nothing. This is ground and people's butts. Dude, I just saw it last. That's on the fridge.
It is just insane that, like, whatever is going on out here, it is draining battery from everything.
I know, dude. Dude, this one just lost. Right when you said that, I lost a notch. Whatever energy you need, feel free to take it if you need to manifest.
Take Jonathan, too. Okay, don't take Jonathan.
Jonathan's the guy in front of everybody.
What's up? Oh, this might be the last one. You staying right here? Oh, that's.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, dude.
I think that's the
Dude,
bridge.
bye-bye.
Again?
It's gone. Another camera gone.
Dude.
Are you getting that light?
It's not showing up. Whoa, yeah, there was. While the lantern light was visible to us, it didn't seem to show up well on the camera. We only got these shots of it.
As our cameras died once more, we hurried back up to the cabin to charge the batteries, and to get warm by the fire. Around 2:30, Sean, Jonathan, and I decided to go back to the museum for a quick investigation. It was here we seemed to make contact with someone that we weren't quite expecting.
Are you? I think he's got some business cards in here with the name on it. Okay, we just had a voice come in that said Mike was here. We asked if it was his son. Fred and Mike Wise. Wise? Is your name Mike Wise? So weird, I know Mike Wise. Dude.
If you're here, Mike, can you make a sound for us?
What was that?
We started making contact with a spirit named Mike. What's interesting is that the owner of the museum used to run the museum with his son, Mike Wise. Could Mike still be visiting the museum, keeping an eye on the artifacts, as well as his father? Our first visit to the Crooked Creek Civil War Museum was an adventure that I will never forget. Not only for the strange things that happened, but also for the memories that were made.
I came in. Oh God! Like a wrecking ball.
If you ever find yourself in Vinemont, be sure to swing by the museum. And if you're brave enough, stay the night in a haunted cabin and hold your own investigation. Who knows? Maybe you'll see one of the many spirits that make the museum apart.
Do you like having all your artifacts in here? What is that? Is that you?
Of Alabama's most haunted.
This is Alabama's most haunted.
We still got a full battery on that thing. It's recording, by the way.
Jonathan's taking a dump.
Keep going.
So he's missing this party in the haunted cabin out here in Crooked Creek. Gonna catch some ghosts, and Sean did his makeup and his eyebrows are on fleek.
Alabama's most haunted. Alabama's most haunted. And sing.
Gregory.